I've got something new to reveal, and this time it's a new MIDI kalimba. There's not much new in the functionality, but it has changed a whole lot physically. I still love the original one. I deliberately went for the not quite credit card size, but certainly pocket size. It's no accident that it was exactly the same form factor as Ether, meaning that it could share parts like the tripod mount. However, this made some limitations. It was limited to the 9 pads, which is fine. The layout is original and I like it, but the pads don't quite fall under the thumbs as a real kalimba does. This is twice the size, but wrenching myself away from that desire to keep the size to a minimum actually made a number of advantages, some of which I hadn't anticipated. As much as I like the original layout, the larger size allows a pad layout that's much more reminiscent of a real kalimba and is much more playable. It means that it can be a little bit thinner because I can spread some of the internal components. There's room for 2 additional notes, 11 pads as opposed to 9, and there's room inside for a future audio version. There's also room for these extra pads here, which stop and start the looper, with either hand. MIDI-Pan sacrifices one of its 12 touchpads when looping so that you have a handy touchpad for starting or stopping the loop. With the smaller kalimba, you have to use the physical buttons on the side, which just doesn't flow quite as well. I don't know whether you can tell, but I've gone for gold plating on these pads. I started to do this with the audio MIDI pans. It adds significantly to the cost, but I think it's well worth it. It solves a little quality issue, and I think it looks much nicer. The firmware hasn't changed, except for some minor changes for the extra pads. You can still set your root note and octave, and choose from a list of scales, which has grown quite long now. I think the last editions were the hexatonic ones. I used bebop minor, I think, in my last MIDI-Pan looping video, which was very effective. As mentioned, there may be an audio version down the line, as is already the case with MIDI-Pan. But I have to stress that at present this is a MIDI controller. If you know what that means and how to use MIDI, then you'll know that there are many ways to use it and an almost infinite choice of sounds available. But those who don't know what MIDI means don't know what they don't know and just expect to plug in headphones or a speaker and hear sound. If that's what you're looking for, then please look at the audio version of the MIDI-Pan, because that's what will probably be coming to the MIDI-Kalimba eventually. For now, I've got a small batch of these available, and as long as they're well received, then I'll obviously try to keep them in stock. I'll leave you with a simple loop which I came up with by accident the other day, when I mistakenly played a bar of 3 in the middle of some bars of 4, and really liked it. I'm using a decent sampler sound called Gourd Kalimba.